In the Pacific Northwest, so-called beaver believers profess beaver taught salmon to jump, a lesson which comes from a Haida legend. Jumping is a skill that, for salmon, is vital if their anadromous adaptation is to be worth anything. But beavers' relationship with salmon doesn't end there. Once a beaver begins building in an ecosystem, their influence on waterways creates complexities, varying the pools and riffles and stream channels, diversifying plant life, attracting diverse insect and bird life, and so on up the food chain. This creates ideal habitat for juvenile salmon, with safe places to find food and shelter. So, since beaver are so important to one of our most iconic species here in Washington, let's talk a little bit more about them. This creature of North America has been the focus of human interest for centuries, and humans have identified with them as fellow builders and engineers tinkering with the environment to better suit their needs. Beaver build many different things. They build dams to alter water levels, they build scent mounds which delineate territory, and they build lodges for shelter and raising young. Their bodies are adapted for the myriad of activities they engage in. After the capybara, they are the largest rodent, and being large helps them conserve heat. They have nictitating membranes over their eyes, which is a third transparent eyelid for underwater swimming. Their nostrils and ears close underwater. They can hold their breath for 15 minutes. The back inside surface of their front two teeth is softer than the front outer side, allowing the inner side to wear faster, creating that razor-sharp edge for biting. Their front paws are adapted for dexterity. Their hind feet are webbed. And while their tail is adapted for many uses, slapping mud onto a dam is not one of them. They do use their tail to smack the water to warn of predators, as a rudder while swimming underwater, and as a balancing tool while on land. They use their front paws for carrying, building, and adding mud to dams. Here in the Anacortes Community Forest Lands, we don't have a major river that the beavers have dammed. Not all beavers dam rivers. When the beavers moved in around 1985, they found some water to work with. They built their dams around the southern end of Little Cranberry Lake, which raised the water to the south of their dams to what is now known as Big Beaver Pond. Beavers raise water levels to have better access to preferred foods. They aren't as elegant walking on land as they are as swimmers. To keep water high enough so their underwater entrance to their lodge is secure from predators. And in areas where the winters get cold enough, they need a high water level so they can still swim under the ice and access their winter cache of food they've stuck in the mud down below. The beavers that live and work in the ACFL have created rich, gorgeous yellow pond lily farms. During my effortful kayaking around the pond, I was thankful to find pathways through the lily the beaver have cleared, and I was curious about the mounds where they must perch and eat the rhizomes of the lily. Beaver prefer pond lily for spring and summer feeding, and their engineering activity creates ideal habitat for yellow pond lily to grow. The pond ecosystem here is complex and full of life, and everything is linked to and supported by the beaver activity, directly or indirectly. Humans remain beaver's main predator. Humans hunted beaver for fur almost to extinction, but with proper regulation and widening cultural respect, they have become one of the greatest species comeback stories yet. Sometimes beaver are viewed as pesky, a nuisance, or a threat. But people in the ACFL should take care to treat our beaver friends well. We can easily live in harmony with beaver, and we benefit from their presence too. Because beaver maintain water levels, they keep downstream areas and wetlands from excessively flooding. They also keep groundwater levels replenished. So please don't interfere with beaver dams or any of their structures. We need the beaver to do what they do, and so do the rest of the flora and fauna that call the rich ecosystems in the ACFL home. Find out more about beavers by doing a little online research, or better yet, come down to the ACFL to observe them for yourself. Just remember to stay on the trails, leave nothing but footprints, and take nothing but memories. Beaver are industrious, focused on family, and their babies are endearingly cute. This friend of the forest is a beaver believer.